Hey now, what's going on, guys? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I just got done watching episode 9! 9 episodes of Scream, the TV series on MTV. This episode was entitled The Dance. And first and foremost, before I get into everything that happened in this episode, I will say this episode wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. But, it wasn't terrible. Out of 9 episodes, it wasn't the worst. Good job, MTV. But that doesn't mean that dumb shit didn't happen in this episode, because the way this starts, the first scene in this episode made me throw my hands up and go, holy fuck! Is this how the whole episode is going to go? Maybe that's why I thought it wasn't bad, is because the dumbest thing happened right up front, and then the rest of it wasn't terrible. So the dumb thing that I'm talking about is that you see the police station, and there's a police guard, who's sitting there at the desk, and what is he doing? Reading a newspaper or something? And then you see this person in a black hoodie run by him. And I mean, run by him. There's no fucking way he didn't hear this person. I'm pretty sure he wasn't wearing headphones. In fact, he's a police guard. I'm positive he wasn't wearing headphones. He just didn't hear him. He didn't hear this person run by him. He had a delayed reaction of looking, though, of did something just go past me? Oh, no. Probably the wind. I'm like, what the fuck? Really? And then you come to find out that it was indeed the killer stealing their mask back from evidence. And then I wondered, well, how the fuck did they get out of this place then? Did they just run past him again? I mean, I could see if this killer was the Flash or Quicksilver, and it's just so fast that you just can't help it. But really? Anyways, obviously I thought that was dumb. But let's talk about Brooke and Jake. Because Brooke, she's been a character who I went from hating to surprisingly liking to now not really caring about. I mean, look, she's been through some shit. I feel bad for her to a certain extent. I want to see her be smarter and do better. But when you see that she's made countless mistakes and she went back to the teacher and all that shit happened, she's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just going to go with Jake now, the biggest douchebag on the show. Why? I don't know, because there's nobody else there. Okay, fine. So then when she's in his house, she's about to take a shower, and granted, she looks hot in her underwear. I can't deny that. But she quickly sees that the laptop turns on and is watching her, recording her, and she freaks out. And I thought, okay, here's the moment where she realizes that Jake is a piece of shit, that he's been doing all this stuff behind everybody's back, and she's going to leave. No, she stays there to confront Jake, and then she believes him. She's like, this happened. He's like, I don't know anything about it. And she's like, oh, okay, well, somebody did it. I'm like, you believe him? Now, granted, she left, but still, she's so naive. I get it. She's a high school girl. She's not going to be the smartest person in the world. Maybe a guy can manipulate a girl like this very easily. Sure. But I guess it's because you do all this with the Brooke character, who can be likable if they tried, and then compare her to our actual main character, Emma, who's 10 times more unlikable. It's like, who am I supposed to like on this show? Speaking of Emma, she goes to talk to the teacher, Mr. Bronson, and while he's being held. And I did like this scene. I liked the way how the teacher played this, to where, at first he's like, "Hello, Emma." Very creepy, very suspicious. But then the more they talk, the more it's clear, at least in my head, that he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know anything about this. He's just kind of like, what? He's waiting for his lawyer, so he won't really get into anything. But he did kind of leave it off on the suspicious thing, so I guess you're still not supposed to know. Even though I've never really thought that the teacher is behind this. Maybe he has a crooked past. I think just like Brooke's father, like they have some crooked stuff going on separately, but it's not connected to this case. They go to visit Brendan James's mom. I'm talking about Emma and Piper. And the mom is creepy, she's weird, whatever. The big thing is that she accuses the teacher, Seth, Mr. Bronson, as visiting her. He visited her for whatever reason. That will come up later on, but I guess this is what makes Emma really think that the teacher was the guy and there's nobody else who could be it. Because that's her main character. She just writes everything off. There was a moment when Piper drove Emma home, and Piper just had this something about the way her look on her face when she drove her home and was watching Emma. I'm like, you're suspicious. You're creepy. You've been suspicious this whole time, and they've had moments of sort of trying to make her likable, but I feel like she's too close to Emma. Like she's too much like running up to her in random places. I have to tell you something, or I need to tell you this one thing. It's like she's so close to her, randomly out of nowhere. Maybe I'm wrong, though, because as I was thinking that she was suspicious, they show Kieran. And Kieran is, like, waiting outside of Emma's house in her car, watching them. Like, how long was he sitting there? Ooh, she's finally come home. She's with Piper? What is she doing with her? Like, creepy. Fucking creepy. And then he just walks into her house. Her door's unlocked. Like a fucking idiot. Even Karen's like, you shouldn't leave your door unlocked. And this is our smart main character, Emma. Oh, didn't you hear? They just caught the fucking killer. So that means I can just leave my door unlocked. And there's no other dangerous, violent people in the town. Really? The day they catch somebody, you think now the world is just a peaceful, fun place and nobody is going to kill ever again? Fuck you, Emma. That's not the first time or the last time that I will say fuck you, Emma, especially in regards to this episode. So Karen's being very creepy, very suspicious, just being weird. He's weird. That brings me to Noah and Audrey finding Rachel's videos, Audrey's ex-girlfriend, videos on her iCloud that it was Karen and Nina leaving a bar together. Then we have a scene where the sheriff goes to this house looking for the killer or whatever. He finds a laptop. Then he gets attacked by the killer. That brings us to the dance. The big dance that still a lot of people went to, surprisingly, even though the people were dying in their high school. Let's drink and party. Why not? And you have a lot of people dressed up in costume. I couldn't really tell what everyone else was dressed up as, like what theme they were going for. But some of our main characters, like Kieran and Emma, went for the Pulp Fiction look. Now, I love Pulp Fiction. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And in a way, it's cool that they went retro like that, but I don't like these characters. I don't like these actors. They're not good enough to pretend to be John Travolta and Uma Thurman. I'm sorry, but they're not. So that brings us to Audrey going up to Emma and saying, hey, look, you can't trust Karen because I found this video and this and that. And Emma's just like, I trust him. How dare you accuse him of this? I trusted you when there was video on you, which could sound like a good excuse for why she's going to trust Karen, except for she's friends with Audrey. She's known Audrey for how long? Of course you're going to trust her more than you should Kieran. Kieran, you just met. Kieran. You just met him not too long ago. I don't care how attracted to him you are. It's just the timing of everything. You can't compare the two cases. I didn't like Emma's reasoning. And then even if you wanted to go with her reasoning, why does she question Kieran after that? She's like, oh, so yeah. She tells him everything, first of all, which makes me think, okay, fine. Great, Emma. You just told him or gave him reason to go off and kill Audrey now. Because that's what's going to happen. Audrey's dead now. Thanks to you, Emma. So he gets offended. Well, first he tells the story of what happened. They show flashbacks, which were so corny. When they flash the flashbacks, I'm like, okay, fine. And his version is that Nina was drunk and he offered to drive her home. And supposedly, which they didn't show this for good reason, supposedly he drove her home and he didn't go in the house to hook up with her. First of all, bullshit. He was so quick to sleep with Emma out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. You're trying to tell me that he didn't take advantage of Nina? Nina's attractive. Bitch and everything, sure. But she was attractive. I mean, who wouldn't sleep with her if she was asking for it? So I call bullshit on that. And even if he didn't do it, because let's say he's the killer and that wasn't a part of his plan to sleep with her, he now knows where she lives. She ended up dead the next day. It only makes sense now that Kieran is the killer. You could say that's too many clues and it's too much, that it's too obvious. There can be no other killer. I mean, we can have more than one killer, but Kieran is definitely involved. So then you see the sheriff, there's like a video hack connection somehow, and we see that the sheriff is tied up somewhere, beaten to death, damn near death. And, oh yeah, Piper shows up. Piper, who, again, just randomly is like, Emma, I'm here! Randomly. And she's telling her about how the mom was wrong. It wasn't the teacher. It was Kieran that visited her. But then you cut to the police station and there's a dead cop with blood all over the floor. And I guess we're supposed to assume that the teacher killed the cop and broke out? Unless I'm wrong, unless that was referencing something else. I don't know. I don't really care. So it's weird because they're supposed to paint the teacher as the killer the whole episode. Then they turn that and make you think it's Kieran. Then, once they do that, they make you go back to thinking it's the teacher. I don't know. It could be both of them. It could be three of them. And we might have to throw in Piper in that situation as well. All in all, though, like I said, it wasn't a horrible episode. It really wasn't. I'm not going to say a whole lot happened, but a lot less dumb shit happened than what usually happens in the Scream episode. We have one episode left. My God, this reveal, this payoff of the killer, not only better be worth it, not only it better be like epic and a great finale where like people die and it's bloodshed, but it better make sense. I almost more care about it making sense because I almost feel like the writers are writing as they go, and it like I fear that this is just going to be so convoluted, so out of left field, so like, who's that person? They're the killer? Who's that? Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this episode? And what's your predictions for the finale next week? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!